So, welcome back to another Server Spaces. Last week we had great energy. So, today we're keeping the same vibe, but with a more open form hangout. All right. So, less AMA, more conversation. We want to hear from every speaker and let the discussion flow naturally. So, for the people that are here right now, maybe we can do a quick round of introductions. And once that's done, we can get into the questions. Like I said, please, guys, retweet the room, retweet the spaces. Let's get some people in there. The spaces were against us, so I need all of you to help me out with this one. Let's make sure we get a lot of listeners in. Thank you, guys. So I'm just going to throw over the mic to Monica, I guess. Maybe you can do a quick introduction, even though you're doing this every week. I'm sorry, but there might be new listeners. So here we go.
I don't mind. Thank you, Dave. Welcome, everybody, to episode 3. I think it's episode 3 of Surfer Spaces. I'm very excited to have all of these excellent projects from Hyperliquid ecosystem here to join us. A brief intro about us. Hypersurface, we are a platform that lets people earn yield on the tokens they already own. Right now on HyperEVM, we allow people to sell covered calls on a whole bunch of assets that are on HyperEVM, native to HyperEVM. So check us out at hypersurface.io. Davey, you wanna take it back?
Yeah, thank you, Monica. I'm just gonna throw the mic
Sure.
to Ace. Hey, Ace, how are you? Thanks for being here again.
Hey, GM, thanks for having me back. I'm glad this time worked. It's a super busy time for everybody building in the HyperEVM and participating in Hyperliquid. But the FOMC coming out in 23 minutes too, so that's going to be fun to review while we're on our spaces together. I'm a co-founder of the Hype Engine and Nest Exchange. We are pre-launch protocols, but we're the biggest hype bulls you can imagine. And we've essentially built an exchange that captures value from the on-chain economic activity on the HyperEVM, channels that to an on-chain digital asset treasury to accumulate hype, and then provides amplified exposure to hype via a ERC20 called Mega Hype to holders. So we're kicking off our community round and actually an echo raise in the coming days. So that's exciting news to share, and I can go into that a bit more, but we're still pre-token and pre-launch at this point.
Sweet. Thanks for the introduction and thanks for being here again, man. We're following you on foot, obviously. So super excited to have you on again. We have a new speaker as well today. We actually, if you look at our timeline, we partnered today with Automato. And I think we have either the CEO, I'm not sure anymore, Clement. I'm sorry, but I'm throwing the mic to you. Please do a quick introduction about Automato and maybe a little bit more about yourself.
Hey, yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me today. So yeah, I'm Clement, co-founder and CEO of Automato. We're building a DeFi assistant for the HyperEVM. So that's super easy to use. You just come on Automato, you connect your wallet, you connect your Telegram, and we then deploy a smart assistant that watches your wallet 24/7 and sends 2 different types of notifications. The first one is on-chain related notifications. So if you are close to being liquidated, or if you have funds on money markets and the borrowing rates are going crazy, or if you hold an asset that depegs, all those kind of events, we just send you instantly a notification. And then we have a second type of notification, which is social notification. So we detect the positions you have in your wallet, all the protocols you are using, and we forward you important updates about these protocols. So for example, if you use, let's say, Kinetic that just that announced their token, we will forward you like the airdrop checker and all those kind of things, so that you don't miss anything about your wallet. You don't miss airdrops. You don't miss points if you're using a protocol and you have some. So yeah, just an assistant that sends you smart updates about your protocol.
Sounds like an amazing tool, man. And just asking, are you French?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I'm recognizing accents, man. like in Europe, I can just, I think I can hit them all. I've been on, obviously I've been in the space for a while, and it's just super cool to recognize all these European accents.
Yeah.
Great having you on. So
Thanks.
we still missed a lot of speakers, by the way, but it is what it is, guys. I think Europe daylight savings messed it up for a lot of people. It is what it is. We're not going to slow down. Let's just hop in. I'm just going to throw in some questions, guys. And, if no one responds, I will obviously give the mic to someone. Also, feel free to ask each other questions or comment on each other as well. But the first thing that comes to mind in a market like this, like how do you guys personally behave? Are you mostly in stables? Are you all in crypto? Rotating actively, staking, relaxing? I want to know your thoughts. Anyone?
It's a frustrating market. I think we're all comparing ourselves to TradFi. We have equity envy, right? Like we see the Nasdaq is, I think, outperforming Bitcoin on the year in a bull market, which is unusual. There's kind of that component that's weighing on us. The other is like, how are we behaving relative to previous cycles? Is the 4-year cycle intact, or are we fully tethered to TradFi now that we're institutionalized with ETFs and DATs and things like that? So it's tricky. I think the OGs are probably having the hardest time because they are so anchored to the previous cycle bias. So you've seen tons and tons of top calls and the cycle's over, worst cycle ever. Whereas a lot of the kind of newer entrants, or say more of the institutional players, are probably looking at this completely differently and saying, we're just getting started. Macro looks awesome. We have, this massive Clarity Act going through Congress that'll provide a ton of favorable regulation for, new types of companies to build in the US, and maybe even finally getting some clarity around like what these tokens actually are classified as from a regulatory point of view. And so I'm trying to kind of split the difference. I definitely bias towards the latter camp more so than the prior. Like I am more risk on than I think a lot of the participants are. I'd say you don't fight the Fed. If the Fed's in a cutting cycle, you want to have risk assets on your. However, I think we're still kind of the biggest kind of surprise is these OG wallets that keep selling, on Hyperliquid, which is cool. We have like the massive unit deposits of Bitcoin that are being sold. And once that distribution is completed, I think things are going to look really, really good. I've seen calls for 150K and to 600K for Bitcoin. So I think we'd all be happy if we ended up anywhere in between.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And I feel the same way. Like I'm in crypto since 2015. And I just seriously at that point, like next to the investment, obviously, that I have, I just simply don't know what to do at the moment. The holidays are coming up. It's up and down markets. I have no, just being completely transparent, I have no clue what to do. If I would get $1 million right now to invest, I just don't know, to be honest, what I should do within crypto. Anyone want to comment here?
Wait, Dave, the answer is supposed to be you're using Hypersurface.
That's
It's
true.
actually a really great product for this like uncertain mixed environment. If you bought tokens, you bought them a while ago, you're not sure what to do with them, you don't want to necessarily sell them, but you'd really love to be able to do something with your portfolio, like selling covered calls, maybe taking a tiny bit of profit because you never know where the market's going to go, but not dump. It's a good one. It's a good one for this current market environment. Andre, do you have thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I was about to jump in. Hey, I'm Andre, co-founder and CTO of Hypersurface. So I'm kind of the thing is like everyone is sort of like smart in hindsight, and everyone shares this like theories after the fact. But I feel like honestly, like I myself feel like the dumbest trader out there who actually still manages to make money somehow. Like I literally don't know anything. And the thing is, so I spent 3 years at a traditional like $2 billion hedge fund where I was lucky to sit in the same room with the principals, and sort of like these guys, they were the Wall Street veterans, they did crazy things. And what I learned from them is that they don't know anything either. Like all they can do is place bets, right? Like it's like you place bets, you're still bullish overall, like long term. Like I'm very bullish on crypto as an infra, as a force that sort of like modernizes the finance and makes it global. Right? Because this didn't happen yet, right? Like we still have pretty much like we have a very pretty efficient market, financial markets here in the US, but outside everywhere in the world, it's not really the case. It's still kind of like it's enabled here in the US mostly by regulation that kind of regulates the market and ensures regulation and kind of prosecution, right? kind of keeps the bad actors away. We still have a lot to do on that front in order to enable it globally, which means like sort of like shifting from regulation by law to regulation by code, which I think is the only way you can enable that globally, right? Because there's no like a single like regulator that globally can enforce things. So anyways, that's a long story, but basically what I kind of do is like I'm sort of like a perma bull, like because I have to hold something because I know that like there is no way I can time the cycles because I've been through the cycles and I know that like there is no way I can time that. I always sell too early, I always buy too late or whatever. But what I kind of find to give me like peace of mind is like basically I hold an asset, let's say like Coinbase stock or like Bitcoin or ETH or Hive, and I basically trade options around them. So like I would not like buy and sell asset itself because I feel like, first of all, like the tax that comes with it, like, and also it's just like once you sort of sold asset, then like to wait for a moment to buy it back. It's just I'm not smart like this. I'm not too like it's for like smart guys. Like I'm too dumb for that. What I do instead, I hold asset permanently, and I would just like go like do like sell a covered call or like buy some kind of call, or buy a put or something. I would just trade like options around it and make money and that kind of satisfies me. In the meantime, makes me feel like I'm smarter than I am, and I'm kind of happy. And I think it kind of carries me through that emotional turmoil. So that's sort of like how I approach it. I don't know. Curious if anyone feels similarly. But
It's
yeah,
funny, Andre. Everyone has been watching our favorite main character Taiki Maeda about his net short position in crypto, and I'm thinking to myself, you're never going to find a builder who is ever going to be net short crypto. If you're building in this space, you are a firm bull. So you may go, in and out of some tokens, but even in the deepest bear markets, it's almost like that's when you're buying the most, right? Like I remember not Black Thursday. Perhaps it was the COVID crash where ETH got to like $80 after peaking, at a cycle high of like 1,400, and I was like giddy with excitement to buy, and I think I was already holding a ton of ETH at the time. Yeah, we're all very fortunate to get to build in this space, and holding crypto is just part of the game. And then I think you mentioned some of these more advanced financial vehicles can now be accessed on chain thanks to Hyperliquid. So if you ever need to hedge or whatever, you can just do it on chain.
Man, those times, eat at $80. Man, if you think about that, I should have sold my house back then. But it is what it is, guys. By the way, we got some extra speakers on. They still joined. So we got Empress, Mayowa, and also Sick from Hybra or Hype Engine. Sorry, first throwing the mic to Sick. Maybe you want to lean into the conversation or quickly introduce yourself before we move on.
Yeah, sorry. I got my timings mixed up. I thought it was an hour from now.
No worries.
We all did. You're good, Sick.
All right. Okay. No, I'm sick from the finance. We speak to whatever DE coming up soon, and yeah, I'm just listening to Ace talk and not sure what else she's still talking about right now.
So we're basically talking about, how to behave right now. Like, are you all in crypto? Are you all in stables? Are you like, if you got $1 million right now and you should invest it in crypto, like, would you actually know what to do? And if not, what would be like kind of your strategy? That's kind of what we discussed so far.
Okay, my strategy would be super simple. I tell everyone just to buy hype and just hold and chill. It's like the easiest thing that you can possibly do is just buy hype.
Show. I love it. It's short and powerful. You're cutting out a little bit, Sick, or at least at my end. I'm not sure if that's for the rest of the guys as well. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Let's. I'm not sure if you're still speaking. Sorry, Empress. I'm so glad you're here. I was getting nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was all alone in the spaces. My co-host wasn't coming.
Your co-host needs to remind you it's about time changes, apparently. Because I was totally prepared to be here on time at 11.
Literally everybody other than Dave was prepared to be on here in an hour.
My answer is hype and stay in the ecosystem. Because the hype is, you know what? Fight me, all of you. I've been swing trading the hype a little bit so that I can accumulate more. So I'm at the top, buy it at the bottom. I'm looking for 31 for the next one. And I'm just stacking hype as I have it parked in various protocols earning yield. And it's a good time. I'm enjoying it. I don't purpose trade, so I'm pretty comfy.
Awesome. I think that's some great advice. Well, obviously not financial advice. We're just sharing what we're doing here before, we
Stick figure. Don't listen to a stick figure. That would be crazy.
Well, people are. So, but it's all good. Mayowa, how are you, man? First time on the spaces. I'm glad you're here. You're obviously been supporting Hypersurface as well for a while. You're fully integrated into the ecosystem. Great threads, great information on your page. I just need to throw the mic to you real quick.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Empress. Good evening, everyone, basically. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this WW intro that you just did for me. Yeah, this is Mayowa, this is what it does, and so on like that. Thank you so much for that one. So, but yeah, my name is Mayowa, and I'm a DeFi content creator, and yeah, I love anything that deals with yield farming and so on like that. So, but I don't know if I should go straight to start answering the question that you just asked. Should I go straight to it, or I should just chill?
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think you said if you have $1 million now, what's the best thing to do? Me personally, like I'm not like a big portfolio guy, but you get mid 5 figures and so on. But one thing that from my own experience, yeah, I've stopped holding memes. Basically, before I used to like, okay, let me hold this kind of memes, let me hold Pengu and some other memes like that. But now I've reduced the way I hold memes. So my portfolio now is just like Ethereum, small BTC, and Ethereum, small BTC, then Hyperliquid, then the rest are stables, honestly. I think it was the last crash. I remember a friend of mine was buying a lot of dips around before that last crash that we had around that October 10 or so. He was buying a lot of this. He was buying Jupiter, buying this and that, but he bought almost everything. And at the end of the day, when the crash came, it was crazy for him. All his went down. And me, I told him that I've stopped buying all this kind of dips again. I want to just have small my exposures to what I feel like I truly believe in, which is like Hyperliquid. That's why I'm on Hyperliquid now. So Hyperliquid and Ethereum itself. That's like those are like my major bags, and the rest are just small BTC and stables. And that stables, I feel like one of the best thing one can do right now. You just put your stables into work by into all these stable farms. I like this stuff a lot. Like you can put them into the stable farms and just earn yields on them. And apart from earning yields on them, you also get to earn points on them. And just as we all know, this space, all of us loves this free airdrop. We love free this, free that, free and so on like that. So when you put your stuff to work for you on all these stable farms and so on like that, you earn points. They finally have their tokenization. You get to earn some airdrop. It's not like you won't even be so entitled to it because it's not like you wasted any money at all. You just like you have 700K sitting in your wallet. You just splitted them around these stable farms. You are not losing anything at the end, and you just get free money for just putting your money into somewhere. Free money plus use that you've accumulated along the line. So I feel like that's what me I do usually advise my friends now, the ones that have the liquid to play. I say like instead of you trying to buy everything, you can't actually buy everything, especially in this kind of market condition where things can go wrong at any time. So just would maybe like hype and maybe Ethereum. I like Ethereum so much. Ethereum and yeah, Solana too. The thing is, I sold my Solana around 220 or something. I sold almost everything. Like this, I did not have much Solana, maybe like 0 point something saves. Hype, what you believe in? Just hype. For me, I'll say hype, Ethereum, small BTC, and your stables. Just put them into stable farms to earn yields, points, and airdrops at the end of the day. Just keep on accumulating and so on. So yeah, I feel like that's what I would do if I have that kind of amount. So yeah, I think that's it.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I think you're a very smart person, and I just a few months ago I fully ported my funds into a few memes and had to start all over. End of question. End of story. So not financial advice from my side, guys, but you're definitely fully utilizing Hyperliquid protocols. So if you had to choose one protocol or product on Hyperliquid, guys, I'm asking this to everyone. You cannot choose, obviously, your own protocol or product. What would be the one? Only one.
Wait, you have to say you can't choose Hypersurface either, or everybody up here is an idiot for saying otherwise. Kick down the
only the ones
listener immediately.
only the ones that are team members cannot choose their own products.
Yeah, I can try to answer since I'll provide a very vanilla answer since we're all hype bulls. I think we should be staking with Kinetic. If you guys look into how Kinetic works in terms of how they distribute hype across the top validators and their exchange as a service model for HIP3 markets, it's a very, very cool protocol design, and it's positive sum for the eco. I think it's going to democratize access to a lot of new stuff to trade, and they're just like a cracked team. So I'm sure we're all excited about the future token, NTQ, that was announced last week. So still time to earn your airdrop too.
Let's start farming. Anyone else?
I'm basically oh, sorry.
Mine will be very short. I personally like the HLP pool. It did really well in the crash because it has a revenue stream from liquidations, and it's sort of like this. It's like a thing that earns yield in an up market and then earns a lot more in like a crash. It's kind of a nice profile, like risk profile. That's my 2 cents.
I would say other than Kinetic, because Ace has already said that. Kinetic is probably definitely number one for everyone. I really like Hyperfi. I think I've been using their card daily, and I think their lending, borrowing, everything is just like, it's kind of like becoming an all-in-one house for like basically everything you need on Hyper EVM. And yeah, having real world access with the card is just like icing on the cake.
Interesting. Mayowa, let's go.
Yeah, I like what Simp just said now. I'm a big fan of lending protocols as a whole. So I would always pick Hyperlend first. I love Hyperlend so much. I like the whole structure. I just like I like the product so much. So I'll feel like this is like my top one. Then I'll say Hyperfi too. Very, very good product that I enjoy using. Then Project X. Yeah, Project X, then Hypersurface. I think these are products that I feel like I understand so well. I really, really love. I like Kinetic too, but I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm not a big fan like that of Kinetic. But I like Kinetic, but I'm not that big fan kind of. So, but I just like Hyperland, Hyperfi, Project X, and Hypersurface. I think that's like my own picks. Yeah, I should have added Felix too, but I think I had one crazy experience with Felix that time, man. So yeah, let me just stop here. So yeah.
And just to clarify, guys, we did not pay Mayowa. I repeat, we did not pay Mayowa. Thanks a lot, Mayowa. I love it. I know you're a big fan of Hypersurface, man. You've been posting a lot about it, and it's a relatively new niche for a lot of people, right? So it's really cool to see that it gets traction and more people are joining. So I'm kind of curious on what Empress has to say here, to be honest.
Haha, I have the perfect answer. I love all the protocols that I will post about and stuff, but I'm gonna go with the one whose team is ever missing and say Liminal, because they're just never around and I can't offend anybody. But I do like Liminal because they help me farm my unit, because I'm hopeless at farming in general. So I think Liminal is a pretty bullish protocol on institutional mode if you don't know what you're doing, purpose trading and things. So I'm a big fan of Liminal.
Awesome. Anyone else, guys? It's a tricky question. All right, next one. Did we see Clement? Yeah, go on.
I guess I can jump in there because I'm quite surprised no one says units, right? And what they're bringing with the stocks is really, really cool. And probably something we saw it on Solana, but at a small scale. So I'm super, super bullish on units.
Awesome. Interesting. I did hear some solid names, and I think most of us have to agree here. Amazing. Guys, like, I've been scrolling over Twitter the last few days, and I see a lot of people, the conversation about alt season, blah, blah, blah. Same old thing. People have been waiting for it, have been talking about it. It's like, this magical thing we're all waiting for that seems not to be happening. But I would like your guys' opinion on this one. Do you expect, like, if there ever gonna be a real alt season, like, and then I mean like, 2016, 2017, for example, where alts all abroad just went crazy, or did the market mature in a way? Like, what's your opinion, guys?
So 2 previous cycles, 16, 17, we had pretty significant catalysts that led to those alt seasons. The first was the ICO craze. I mean, everybody wanted to shove their ETH into the next shiny token with the dream of, like, everything becoming decentralized, from like dentistry to Uber. And those tokens just went bananas. You could trade them on Poloniex like the first day, and instant liquidity. Everybody was doing multiples. So I guess the innovation there was like the ability for blockchain to be like a major capital formation tool. I don't see that being like a big, component of this cycle at the moment. In the 2020, a lot of that was propped up by a combination of very, very cheap liquidity, like 0% interest rates, and a ton of fraudulent borrowing. I think we've cleaned up a lot of those mistakes that occurred from the Genesis lending and the BlockFis and the ACs. So hopefully none of that is happening right now. My gut is that we're going to be focusing more on, I would say, revenue generating protocols, more palatable tokens for TradFi, because that's where like the biggest funding source is coming now. It's like people love dividends, people love yield. You have to have a purpose for your token. So alt seasons are going to happen, but they're probably going to be confined to the good tokens. So try and find those ones, and you should be able to outperform Bitcoin. Well
Yeah,
said.
in a way, if you think about it, right? Like people really crave for sort of this like alt season where every altcoin is going up no matter what the fundamentals. But if you think about it, that's actually not a good thing, because you want the capital to be allocated accordingly. You want the capital flow towards the project that actually create value. And when the capital just flows indiscriminately like everywhere, that means it's not flowing enough to the project that actually deserve it. So I totally agree that yes, I hope that it will come in a form where the fundamentals drive it, and that where the projects that actually generate revenue and create value, they're the ones that are getting rewarded with a healthy token, and that projects that sort of don't generate success and revenue, they're not. So like I think that's how the market should look like.
There's anyone else?
I'm curious to hear what the trenchers think. Like I don't mess around too much like Pump Fun and other launch pads, but there's still a lot of people buying those, and like the revenues on Pump are still growing. So maybe we're wrong, and it's just like the cycle isn't far enough along that we get a lot of the meme coin liquidity.
I think you're boomers. Let the cycle go. The mass onboarding and the global perspective, the money and flow that is going on, and the volatility of whether or not Trump wakes up with good coffee or bad coffee. I think that waiting on cycles is just, grasping at some sort of illusion control that you don't actually have. So I just manage my bags in real time.
Trenches are cooked. Time for
Trenches have been cooked, and I am good in the trenches. My hype bag came from the trenches, the soul trenches. And I'm telling you, I ain't played in that playground for a minute.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. If you look at like Solana had a great couple of years in terms of memes, obviously. Like I think a lot of people made a lot of money there. However, if you look at the trenches right now, and with trenches I mean mostly, for example, DAX Screener. Look at the new launches, Pump Fun. Like 99.9% is pump and dump, or just straight up rock. It's actually terrible to see, in my opinion, how worse it got. Like in the last, let's say, 6 months, you almost don't see any genuine launches anymore from the trenches. And I'm kind of, DAX Screener is on my first page on my mobile. I'm still, kind of addicted to it. I have to check it out on a daily basis, but I just can't find them anymore. Would Hyperliquids be fundamentally ready to become like a meme thing? What do you guys think?
Can I let me just go now. So on the trenches matter, like from my own experience, but I played on Soul very well. I made some money. The reason why I ate memes till today is because I had a very crazy I have a very crazy PTSD with them. I made money on Soul memes, but at the long run, I was losing that money back to the trenches. So I hated myself then, and that was when I was like, I think I'll have to stop this thing and just focus on my stables and things I really, really live in. And until recently that we had this small BNB season that just came up, and that one was one that actually rescued me. So that, oh, I think memes might still be alive again. But at the end of the day, it's not like how it used to be then. To me, I would say memes are somehow dying already. They are dying off from the market. They are not like you can't. I don't even think what you just said now. I don't think we've seen any real meme since like almost 3-4 months now. Almost everything now is just farming. They are just farming and doing pump and dumps. I have a friend. I mean, it's GC for calls and this thing. What he does is he has his own group too. He has his own cabal too. We in his group we are the exit liquidity. You get, so he has his own cabal where they just farm us, and they just do this pump and dump and so on. And that's the state of the trenches now. It's so bad. It's so bad. Almost even it's already happening on BNB now too, but it's not as toxic as the way it is on Solana. So, but if you ask me for hyperliquid memes, honest, maybe because I came late, or I've not really seen any hyperliquid meme. I think the only thing the meme, let me see meme like token that I actually got in for hyperliquid was I think the name was Pop or something, Pop by these Pop Avil guys. So I think I got in for that one early, and I made like maybe like 5x or something like that. So that was like the only meme that I've seen on hyperliquid that actually did well for me. I've not really seen memes on hyperliquid, and I don't think we are actually going to see memes in the future. Honestly, I'm just being honest here. From the way things are, from the way the whole hyperliquid ecosystem is, it's more for a DeFi native ecosystem where we have pep traders and just core DeFi guys, not like meme gamblers and so on. So, and generally, I feel like memes are just dying. They are not that sustainable again. And it's just better for someone to find something else to do. Maybe if you see some other opportunities, like some meme opportunities will actually come in the long run, but it's going to be like 2/100, 2 out of 100, or maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's my own opinion on this trench stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And that's, kind of a cool thing as well. Like Hyperliquid is more of a serious ecosystem until now. Like obviously there have been a few memes. They have been performing really, really well. But I think also like, do we even want to have like meme space like we've seen on Solana, right? Because like I think Solana is, being promoted heavily first for the memes, but now it's actually tearing them apart. There's just no solid memes. Like I've just been scrolling while we were talking, but I couldn't find any. Well, actually one, but that's only one out of thousands of coins.
Philosophical discussion about the nature of crypto, right? We've
Yep.
we've like now veered into what should crypto be versus, what has it been and where do we want it to go? We don't want institutions to come and like take all the joy away and like take away all of the silliness and the excitement. But at the same time, we're all like, can we have like fewer pudgy penguins and like more real adoption? So it's like a hard line to walk. Like, at what point do we lose the things that make crypto special and in favor of like real adoption? Of course, we're like, building a serious DeFi project in the hopes of getting real adoption ourselves. So hard to say.
Go ahead, Sick.
I think the like memes are kind of like how NFTs were in like 2021. NFTs were like the biggest thing in 2021, 2022, but then like you don't really see anyone ever speaking about that. Or maybe Hyper is an exception, but everything else is like very small compared to how it used to be in like 2021, 2022. And that's kind of how memes went. So they're always going to have like their place in every single ecosystem. And there's going to be some like special memes that come up or special NFTs that come up every now and then. But as a whole, we're not going to really see like I don't think, unless like there's like some next pandemic, that we're going to see like another meme cycle or another NFT cycle. I think, yeah, people here have somewhat matured, and yeah, I think that's a good thing, to be honest.
I think that, I mean, at least my theory is that the whole wave of meme coins was born out of really bad regulatory environment in the US, where basically having like launching something that has a utility automatically put you in danger, and saying that, oh, I'm launching something that has no utility and it's just totally a joke. That sort of like shielded you from potentially getting prosecuted by the bad regime that we all had here in the US. So I feel like that's what sort of triggered it. And now that hopefully, I think if we have more of a crypto friendly sort of like regulation and overall regulatory environment, then we probably gonna continue to see like projects with utility being at the forefront of like kind of value accrual. Hopefully, I mean, that's what, like, I'm the boring DeFi guy. Like, I'm not a meme guy. Totally not, it's not my thing, but I'm biased. I love real value. I love real something build that changes people's lives in a more like meaningful way. But I'm not. I get Monica in terms of, yes, crypto is the fact that it's more fun and kind of there is this freedom of expression more than in DeFi. I mean, that's cool too. So But yeah, anyways.
I think that I think memes will endure. There's always going to be somebody who wants to throw $5 into a slot machine. And the thing is there is skill involved, and it is better odds than the casino and a slot machine. Just a lot of people don't take the time to get to that skill level, and then they become just regular gamblers. But I think that it's a good way, and I think that honestly, a lot of people underestimate the level of maturity with actual bag growth, because a lot of people that have pivoted out of the casino and things like that are interested in maintaining their wealth and growing their wealth versus risking it and staying high risk from where they came from. So I think it'll always have a place, but it's definitely going to be extra cooked until more onboarding comes on, because CT is no longer the epicenter for all things crypto and market moving. So a lot of these memes can't survive because these tiny cabals, all 12 of them at last count, they just don't have the motion to push those charts the way that they used to. So they're all just PvPing each other. And so when we see more people downloading Moonshot and doing memes on a global type scale, I think that people will find a little more value there. But I think that it's just something that's coming down the pike. I think a lot of people are also relieved that regulation won't really change anything, because what do you do when the president himself launches meme coins, right? So I think a lot of people find comfort in that. So I think it's just a matter of adjusting and pivoting and deciding. But I do hate to see the trenchers that marry that trading style and stay there, because I think that that's just not a sustainable way to grow the bag and keep the bag. Too risky.
Interesting take. And I mean, to you, Empress, like basically the onboarding of politicians that we saw over the last year, bullish or bearish?
Let's see. I hate it. I hate everything. I hate all of the people lapping up the regulation and the governmental control, and everybody who's so thrilled about it and so giddy about it. I also am not delusional and am pragmatic, and I understand that it is inevitable. And so, as with all things in CT, you don't deal with things as they should be. You pivot and adjust to how they are. My biggest concern is what we saw with Kobe having a protocol that everybody was doxxed, and then all of that getting sold over to Coinbase is basically privacy of information and what we end up having to sign over and have out there. Other than that, it's just, I think we got about 3 years to enjoy the glorious money grab that we've all been kind of party to. And then that have not divide's going to be pretty wide. So my goal is just to be on the other side of it.
I hate everything, to be honest. I think it was sort of like a perfect storm of events that came together that enabled this like acceptance of crypto at the national level, at the governmental level, at the regulatory level. We had this like red wave in Congress and at the executive level. So they're already kind of more free markets and financial innovation acclimated than say the previous regime, which none of us liked. It was like authoritarian and in the other direction, and trying to clamp down and reduce access to financial products to people. And like, we're all happy that the Gensler era is over. But yeah, like JD Vance was a Bitcoiner before he was elected. A lot of, other congressional types were pro crypto, and Coinbase saw this as an opportune time to kind of launch their Fair Shake PAC and promote those candidates to get them into office where they could essentially bring crypto into the center of finance. But it worked out well. Coinbase was a huge part of it, and I think it was a good strategy. And we'll use this as a jumping off point. If the laws get through Congress, then it's going to be really hard to go back to what we had before, which was pretty tough sledding and uphill battles. So yeah, we're looking good. I think it's a good thing that we kind of became more mainstream through the proper channels versus being like an outcast alternative financial. But obviously, a lot of us came from that. It's hard to kind of adapt this new environment.
Awesome, interesting. I really want to hear, Andre, I'm sorry, but I'm going to bug you. I want to hear your opinion on politicians in Web3, bullish or bearish.
I actually agree with Empress a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, right? I think the cycle of every industry kind of goes like that. It goes first, kind of like we're this fringe alternative underground thing. No one cares. No one takes it seriously. Then some people early on like realize the value, and they think like, okay, like, we're gonna go for the regulatory capture, right? And that the way they go for regulatory capture, they kind of say, like, we're the champion, we're the good guy, we're like fighting the evil government, we're like lobbying on behalf of the whole industry. Well, in fact, I think what they do is basically like they lobby for their own interest, right? Because they have fiduciary duty. Like it's just all the same cycle over and over again. So I think basically there will be like maybe like a good like a window of time where things are very nice and rosy. I think at the end of the day, right, in long term, is going to be very hard, like hardcore regulated industry where it's going to be probably pretty hard for new upstarts to achieve significant scale. It will be all like taken by the incumbents, by big institutions who kind of like lobbied their way into essentially cementing their kind of influence. And I mean, that's kind of like how I feel about it overall. It's all it's never. I feel like that's sort of like the how to say it, basically that's how capitalism works, right? Is that at the end of the day, it's a competition, right? And whoever is the strongest wins. And it is kind of like it is bad, but it's also like kind of like normal. So that's what I think about it.
Awesome. Yeah, and definitely agree. I mean, if you look at where Bitcoin started, obviously we all know Pizza Day, right? Where someone bought a pizza for like 14,000 Bitcoins. I mean, I think it was 14,000. That's crazy, right? But it all started with this is, nonsense, and this is not going anywhere. This is like a currency for gaming. This is like, this is for crime. That's also where we've been in the early stages. And to see where it's been going right now, that's actually crazy if you think about it. But that actually brings me to my last question for this space, because we have a lot of founders in here. As founders, what is the advantage or disadvantage builders have for starting in Web3 now compared to, for example, when you guys started in 2018, 19, or whatever you guys started? Like what did you wish you knew, so to say?
It's far less risky to start now on so many different levels. I think we just covered like the regulatory component. People aren't concerned about getting a Wells notice or any other kind of regulatory cease and desist from the SEC. There's also a lot more in the way of administrative tooling and experience for founders. You can get legal advice, you can get accounting advice, you can set up a business very, very quickly now as a crypto company, whether it's, in the US or in any of the more popular jurisdictions. I don't have a lot of experience out of like the Caribbean and the Panama jurisdictions, but lots and lots of different options, and the costs have come down. I would say the infrastructure is far more mature as well. So you don't have to worry too much about where you're building in terms of like the reliability of the chain, getting support from DevRel teams on the chains, and getting access to, engaged KOLs, community members who can help you market. Whereas before it was like basically do it yourself. So those are the things that come to mind. Ideally, we see a lot more liquidity, but we'll have to be patient.
Wow, you sound very like boomer kids these days have no idea how easy they have it. And in many ways, I totally agree with you. But now there's way, way, way more noise than there was in like 2017 when I was working on a project that started in 2017, and it was just like you could walk into a room and people were like, "Oh my God, you're starting a crypto project? What's that like?" There's pros and cons, I guess, but especially in terms of infrastructure, like Hypersurface could not have existed. I mean, it couldn't have existed 3 years ago. The kinds of things that we're doing with the kind of liquidity provisioning that we need, it didn't exist. And the number of L1s and L2s that can handle the kind of transaction volume that we want to do and can tolerate like the infrastructure that we need, way more exists now than ever before. So in some ways, the kids do have it easier. But man, it sure is noisy out there.
Beautiful. Anyone else wants to lean into this one? All right. Then the last thing I want to ask you guys, founders of projects, team members of projects, before we round off the space, do you want to share anything that's currently going on with your project, or what we should look out to, or any alpha, whatever it is? Feel free to throw it in the group.
Yeah, maybe I can start. We're going to integrate Hypersurface probably this week or early next week. So please keep updates and follow our Automato Twitter account. We'll announce it very soon. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah.
Let's go. That's the first big alpha. Anyone else? Monica?
Yeah, not only do we have the Automato integration, which I'm very, very excited about, but also we just launched a market for Sol. So if you're holding your Solana bags and you don't know what to do with them, and you can come to Hypersurface and you can sell covered calls on your Sol bags.
Let's go. That's what I call alpha. Next one. Come on, guys. Last few minutes of the space. You got to share some alpha. We're all building here. Come on.
We're launching an echo round for Nest Exchange next week, and a community round will follow. The terms will be the same, so everyone gets a chance to grab their VE Nest and can participate in weekly voting, rewards, get amplified hype exposure through the hype engine. So stay tuned to the socials.
Oh, no. Which Echo group? How do we get it on this?
I got to keep some of the alpha behind closed doors.
Oh, okay. We'll follow you on Twitter and see when the community round's available.
Boom. That's some alpha. Sick. You can't stay behind, to be honest. Everyone did a little bit of alpha. I'm sure you can share some.
Not much alpha. I mean, we just did a 100K give back towards our community, and we have our TGE upcoming, which should be very soon. And then, yeah, that's a TGE is very, very soon.
Hey, man, that's alpha, 100%. And rest?
Hyperfi is doing great things. I mean, mainly they gave me a badge, so like obviously, but also they're building out a lot of things in the background that people are going to be surprised about. So I would definitely keep your eyes on Hyperfi.
Amazing. That's what I call a round of alpha. I love it. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. Thanks a lot for being here. Also, the listeners, obviously, it was a great conversation. Make sure to follow all the speakers, join the communities, surf with us. Next week, I'm sorry, but we will have to skip the spaces as I'm OOO. But the week after, we are obviously back with episode 4. Sorry, I really can't change it.
Will that be 10 a.m. PST, not 11?
Well, it's going to change at the US side.
We're about to have daylight savings time on our end too. So let's just chat on Telegram.
I hate to be here.
Yeah, definitely. It will be announced way before, like at least 2 days. I will send everyone on here like a reminder with the actual time in UTC plus PST, just to make it very special this time and make sure everyone attends. But yeah, having that said, thank you all for being here, guys. It was an amazing conversation, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks.